Hey, what's up? Shelly Holland here with Clam Outdoors, and I'm going to talk today about the tungsten jigs and kind of break it down, why people like tungsten so much, what's the advantage. A lot of people ask, and I'm here to tell you today. More often than not, I'm fishing with one rod and one bait, and I need that bait to be my confidence bait. More often than not, when you walk through the stores, you're going to see all kinds of different tackle. I'm going to choose tungsten every time. Tungsten is 30% heavier, and it's going to get down to the fish faster and more efficient. Once I'm down to the fish, it's super sensitive. I can feel that bait every time I'm jigging. I can feel the bounce of the weight of the jig because of that heaviness in the tungsten jigs. There's such a variety of tungsten jigs that Clam has to offer. We have, whether it's a drop jig or a drop kick jig, a lot of the jigs have drop in their name, and that's how you know it's tungsten. So the drop kick with the XL hook, nice big hook, you can actually move the line in different positions and you're going to have a different action. The drop kick will have that kicking motion as you're lifting up your rod, and that's why they call it the drop kick. This is super successful for a lot of anglers. We also have the drop. The drop jig is just round. I kind of like the gold. Gold is a popular color. Nice XL hook. The eyes are very open, easy to tie up on your rod. And then any size, if you needed to finesse your fish, I would go to a smaller tungsten. And because it's tungsten, it's still going to get down the hole and to the fish quickly, even though it has that small of a profile. So as you can see, there's a lot of different choices in the drop jig. Whether you want to finesse the fish or you want something a little big and flashier if the bite's on. Moving on, we also have the epoxy that has a little gold jewel on it, and it'll reflect the light. I've had a lot of success with the epoxy. That little jewel will reflect and catch light, which is great for clear water. Probably a little better for clear water. And then we have the swirl drop, also has a jewel there. We have the caviar drop. That's kind of made to look like maybe fish eggs. I've had a lot of luck with the orange. We have a smaller one or a larger one, depending on the bite. If the bite is finicky, you want to maybe downsize and try a smaller jig. If the bite's hot and heavy and maybe you want to catch bigger fish, bigger bait for bigger fish, then maybe put on a bigger jig. The snowdrop has some glitter around it. It's covered in glitter, and that's going to reflect the light from the sun. Again, that's going to work better in clear water, but just depending on what the fish want that day will depend on what you're going to choose. And then the dingle drop also has just a little bit more flash for a little bit more movement. There's a little gold bead or a clear bead to just an extra attractant. Sometimes that dingle drop is the one you need. It just takes throwing everything at them to really know what the fish are going to want that day. So again, these are the epoxy and the caviar and the snowdrop for flashier baits. And moving on, we also have the ants and the half ant. Now this is perfect for if the bite is really finicky, and it's also a vertical jig. Sometimes them fish want a vertical jig versus a horizontal jig, and the half ant is just perfect. Again, it has a small profile, but it's heavy, so it's still gonna get down to the fish efficiently. So that's the half ant. There's also a full ant, and this is just gonna be a little bit wider of a profile. And you are gonna see that on your Vexilar a little bit better because it is a little bit bigger. But the ants are a great go-to when there's a finicky bite, when the fish are there, but they're not really going for it. If you downsize and go to something like an ant, they might suck it in just because it's small enough to something they might grab onto. And lastly, the duckbill. This is the best horizontal tackle ever made. I've caught so many fish on this. The way it kicks, because of the centerness of the eye where you tie it on, it has such a kick motion. Here, I'll put it in my hand like this. It's gonna kick back and forth like a teeter-totter, and those fish are just gonna go crazy. It has the best action, I think, of all of these jigs. So, and again, it's gonna get down to the hole, get to the fish faster so that you can get it back down and catch more. So as you can see, there's a lot of different options out there when it comes to tungsten jigs. You have to figure out which one you're gonna find your confidence in. My confidence is switched from the duckbill to the half ant to the drop kick. You just never know. Having an assortment really helps, so that going from vertical to horizontal, make sure you have at least both of those in your arsenal, and see what's going to catch you more fish.